Hello and welcome to the Prog Analyst. Today we are going to be talking about the Genesis song Heathaze. The song was a recommendation from a viewer, so if you have any suggestions of prog rock songs you want to see an analysis video of, please leave those in the comments. My interpretation of the lyrics of the song are that it's about someone who has been detached from the world for some time, someone who looks at the world rather nihilistically, but someone who realizes they have to overcome their personal challenges and re-immerse themselves in the world again. There are a number of things I think Genesis does in this song to establish a meandering feeling, the first of which being that every section of the song is in a different key. I'm going to start on the fifth measure when the vocals begin, then come back and discuss the piano intro soon. It's a little hard for me to definitively name these sections as verse or chorus, so I'm going to use letters. Our first section, the A section, is in the key of B. The first two chords, B major and E major, are diatonic 1 and 4 chords. Then the following chords, A and F sharp minor, are modal interchange chords, the flat 7 and 5 minor respectively. The next line is mostly diatonic, other than the F sharp minor again, but that quickly goes back to B. I think it's possible to hear this as just a modal interchange 5 minor chord that returns to 1, but these two chords do also form a 2-5 relationship, which would want to resolve to E, and that is the next chord. However, this B chord doesn't really have a dominant sound, at least not the first time we hear it, so it's up to you as a listener if you feel that this B chord has any sort of gravity pulling it into the E7 chord. The B section of our song is in D major, so the next four measures are helping us modulate there. The E7 chord starts to move us in that direction with the D natural, but it's more the following measure that really gives us more changes. Although the harmony here is still in E7, the tensions include a flat 9 and an 11 in the accompaniment, those being F natural and A natural, which is disrupting the tonality of B in our ears. This harmonically tense chord has some resolution in the following measure when it moves to B minor, then E minor 7. I don't think we know definitively that this is going to D major yet, just from hearing this, but both B minor and E minor 7 are diatonic D major chords, the 6 minor and 2 minor 7, so it at least would feel natural to slide into D major next. That's why it comes as a surprise when we get a repeat of the A section, suddenly moving back to B major 7. The intro of the song is actually the same as the last four measures of the A section, just without any vocals, which is why that first chord in measure 5 is so interesting, or maybe even wrong sounding to the ear. The first four measures aren't clearly in a key, they're modulation material that doesn't end up resolving to its intended place and instead just jumps to B major. For the first minute and 28 measures of the song, we appear to be trapped in this 12-bar harmonic cycle, and every time we reach the end and seem like we're about to move out of it, it repeats. That's why it's so appropriate that we finally do get a resolution in our new key D major on the lyric, "It's time to stop the streaming, must rejoin the real world." We finally break the cycle of being disconnected and return to reality. There are a few other ways the B section gives us a return to reality compared to the wandering of the A section. First, the melody in the A section isn't really rhythmically consistent or repetitive, it's pretty much through composed for those 12 measures and doesn't have much pattern to it. Contrasted to that, the B section is in 2-measure phrases, all of which emphasize the downbeat of 1, most of which have a pickup, all of which are syncopated, most of which use these A, B, and D notes, giving us much more regularity. On top of that, this section uses just 3 chords over the course of 2 measures that repeat 4 times. These chords are 1, flat 7, and 4, which is a very simple and common chord progression, again grounding us. If that wasn't enough, this section has a pedal note of D in the bass, anchoring us even further. We are far from the haze of the first minute of the song once we hit this section. The C section of the song is a few measures of instrumental material. I hear it as starting in the key of B flat. The first chord is C minor, but the second chord is B flat, which when I personally hear that, it feels like 1 to me. That would make F5 and the other B flat also 1. Then for the next 3 measures, we're transitioning to the key of our last unique section, the D section, which is in D sharp minor. To do this, we start with C diminished, which starts our modulation with the inclusion of the F sharp. The next chord slides into B7, at which point we're definitely moving away from B flat, and then we get an F sharp chord to close the section. F sharp major is the relative major chord of D sharp minor, so it's a smooth transition into the D section to move down just a minor third. The last section in D sharp minor has entirely diatonic harmony, and the melodic phrasing is again relatively regular. The first 3 of the 4 measure phrases all start very similarly, and the first and the third end almost identically. The end of the second line in green has always been a particularly emotional moment to me. The combination of the descending melody, descending minor chords from A sharp minor to G sharp minor, and the lyric, "but I just can't seem to let them loose," create a strong feeling of both desperation and hopelessness to me. The end of the section has a similarly defeated feeling, as the lyrics say, "I feel like an alien, a stranger in an alien place." You may have heard me talk in other videos about how artists often use melodic high points to convey excitement or other significant emotions, but here they use a melodic low point, this C sharp being lower than anything we've heard in the melody yet. This is particularly impactful after the rest of the section preceding it, which is loud and epic, in a higher melodic range and full of anguish, but then it concludes with a much quieter, sadder kind of brokenness. The last 4 measures switch between B major 7 and C sharp, which are the 6 and 7 chords in D sharp minor, and from the end of the D section, it smoothly goes back to B major 7, this time as the 1 chord, returning to our A section in the key of B. One last thing I'd like to note about the structure of the song is the irregular section lengths. The A section is 12 measures long, the B section is 8, the C section 7, and the D section 16. To me, the lack of consistency adds to that meandering feeling I mentioned earlier in the video. That's my breakdown of Heathaze by Genesis. Thank you for watching. If you learned something new or enjoyed the video, please like it and share with anyone else who might be interested. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else about the song you enjoy or find interesting I might not have mentioned. If you want to see more of these videos, please subscribe as well. Thanks again!